the We Be Simpin' podcast.
Hi, I'm Connor.
And I'm Taylor. And today we are going to talk about some of the best anime moms.
This was supposed to be in vain of Mother's Day. Obviously, at this time of the recording and where we're at,
It's past Mother's Day.
past Mother's Day. But we wanted to acknowledge it nonetheless and just talk about our favorite moms.
Yeah,
Even if it's not Mother's Day.
exactly.
Because there are some great anime moms out there.
there are.
Some amazing ones. And you wrote down 5.
I wrote down 5.
I wrote down 4.
I want to see how many of ours actually coincide, or...
I was gonna write. I was thinking of a 5th one, but I was like, I have a 5th one in mind.
You will
but
have to tell me who she is.
if we get to it. But I think depending on how long our conversation is going to be, we may just do 3 each.
Yeah.
And go from there. So,
Yeah.
Before we start off, how you doing?
I am doing good. Well, as you know, but nobody else really does.
Mm-hmm.
I worked in our yard last week.
Mm-hmm.
I turned the soil, tilled the fields. It's just a tiny little yard. It's not that extravagant. But I worked so hard on it because it's just like this little mud pit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to grow grass.
We got rid of all the mulch.
Yeah.
Well, you did. I
Yeah.
didn't. I was at work.
My mom helped me get the mulch because she was going to buy some. I was like, well, you could just have ours. We were planning on throwing
I know.
it away.
We bought 10 bags of it 2 years ago?
We bought a lot of bags, and there's still a lot of it over here, but it's been washed away in the trees. That's not important. Point is that I rolled up the fabric, got rid of all the shit, moved stuff around. I aerated the ground and turned the ground in some sections, and laid seed down, raked it in, watered it. But doing so, I blistered my hands.
Yeah, they look pretty bad.
Yeah, they're a lot better now, but you feel it.
No, I can feel it. That's. I remember having those kind of blisters when I was doing drumming or percussion.
Really?
You know.
Wow.
Yeah. So I know how
if
it
you
feels.
want to practice, you got some yard work for you.
Yeah. I mean, I got some good hands now after the years. I mean, you felt them.
Yeah, my hands are weak.
Yeah, mine are strong.
Yeah.
They've been around
Yeah.
the fields and the soil
Yeah.
and the tilling.
And the tilling.
No, I love your project right now. It's a summer project right now. You have a lot of other projects you have lined up, like painting the rest of this house.
Yeah. But you know what I do while I'm doing these things, because it'd be boring not to listen to anything. I've been listening to a lot of anime music, or just Japanese.
Oh yeah, because you're learning Japanese.
J-pop in general.
Well, who's your J-pop person right now, or Japanese artist that you're listening to?
Oh, okay. My favorite is Sid.
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 Yep.
Sid. They are well known for doing the song, opening songs for the first season of Black Butler, and
The
the
13th
13th
opening for Bleach.
Yeah. They even did some for Full Metal Alchemist, if I recall.
Well, they even came back and did an outro for the newest Black Butler public school arc.
Yeah. Yes, they did.
So there you go.
Yeah. So yeah, now I'm obsessed with them right now. To the point where I am trying to write down the lyrics for Ranbuna Melody.
Ooh, okay.
And
didn't know this.
I don't want to, I'm not too far into it. But, I'm trying to, instead of rely on, other sources online, I'm trying to, translate it myself and see how that's going.
That's a cool project.
I do have help from my dictionary because I don't know all the Japanese words. I'm still only, N5 level. So this is a bit of an undertaking for me. But still, it's something that I'm sort of happy and excited about.
I didn't know you were doing that.
Yeah!
You never even mentioned it. Were you keeping the secret for the podcast?
Yeah, I wanted to have something to tell you.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Oh, wow.
So it's all in, hiragana and katakana.
Yeah, she's got it written down right now on her little notebook.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's what I've been
That's a cool little, project to figure out,
yeah.
translate.
Right, I want to
Japanese
see
and-
how my translation differs from other people's. After, of course, I translate it, I would, compare them.
Well, that's really cool. I didn't even know you were doing that.
Yeah!
Again, something I didn't know about my wife. Until now.
Until now.
I am now years old. So yeah, that's... Anything else you want to report? Or
another thing is that we missed a really great anime for our spring lineup.
You want to talk about that first?
Yeah, why don't we talk about that first?
Okay,
like,
I'll let you go first.
This is like to add to our spring lineup video.
Which was last... Was that last episode?
Well, that's the one that just recently went out as of recording this.
Yeah,
one.
That's right. We talked about like 14
anime.
But
I feel like it's a shame that we did not mention Kowloon Generic Romance.
I know.
That's so good.
Now, it never was on our radar, which is why we never mentioned it. We overlooked this one on our previous episode of when we did our spring lineup. But we watched a YouTuber named Mother's Basement who does these kind of like what animes to look out for, and he did this huge condensed one with like 20 plus anime for the spring, and there was one that he recommended that was like, oh my god, why did we overlook this? And it was, yes, Kowloon Generic Romance. And do you want to talk about the premise of the
Well, let you talk about it.
I'll do my best. I'll start off with like what the description is on Crunchyroll, just to kind of give you guys an idea. An entangled story of love, nostalgia, and mystery begins in the inner walls of Kowloon walled city. Like, this is the mystery at the very end of episode 1, so we're trying not to spoil this too much, but it starts off with, like, they have, like, this budding relationship, and you can kind of see that there is some, romantic feelings between one another in some sort. And you're seeing it there, and she really wants more, and wants to get to know him and stuff. But, they're coworkers. And so at the very end of episode 1, and I don't want to spoil too much after this, but she finds a photo at the end of the episode 1 of Kudo and her in the past, but she has no recollection of it.
Yes.
And so that's kind of the mystery there. And it ramps up from there, sprinkles in more and more of the mystery. And I still have more questions every episode than answers. And it doesn't feel like we get any answers. I'm very excited to see where this all leads. Yeah. I have more and more theories, and I can't wait to see what unfolds as we keep going and see if my theories are wrong or not. But yeah, I really wanted to highlight that one. That is a gem. So Kowloon Generic Romance. Please check that one out if you guys are interested in mystery, a little bit of romance.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely not a generic romance.
It's definitely not.
Let's
generic.
Be honest about that.
Even within the name, it's not.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, check that one out. Did you want to mention some of the movies that we watched too?
All right. I want to.
You want to bitch first?
First, I want to bitch.
Yeah. Okay, you bitch.
I waited like
2 years.
2 years for this movie. My Villainess movie. I forgot the full title.
It's My Next Life as a Villainess, the movie.
Yeah.
That's it.
That was it?
I think that's what it's called.
No title? Okay. Second
well, it's the full title of My Next Villainess.
All else lead to do. Okay.
Yeah, the movie.
So, I've been excited for it ever since it got announced. And, I heard, at the time, it was going to be premiered in New York and yada yada, right? Mm-hmm. Thinking, so since it's premiering in New York and whatnot, we should get it, within the next, 6 months to a year, right? So I've been keeping my eye out for it for months and months and months. A couple years. And, a few weeks ago, I got so fed up, I found a copy of it uploaded on YouTube. Put it in my watch later so I could watch it later. Because I was like, finally, I could watch it somewhere because it's never coming to Crunchyroll. And even though they said it was coming to Crunchyroll 2 years ago when they announced the freaking movie.
I don't know if it was just a licensing thing.
It could have been a license. I need to, dive deeper into that. But
then 2 years.
Guess what?
What?
It came to Crunchyroll. It shadow dropped on Crunchyroll Friday.
Yeah, Friday. Right? Friday night, yeah.
So, we had already just watched a movie, but then I was like, fuck it, we're watching another movie.
Double feature. It
was gorgeous. I loved it. But I'm mad at it, too, for taking so long. Okay, so that's all I'm saying for now. It was good. I recommend, if you like my villainess in it.
Which we talked about last episode. We talked about the villainess stuff.
That. So if you enjoy that one, or are interested in that one, that's a good one, and I hear the creator was involved in making this movie too. It's not in the books or anything.
It's a new story.
It's a new story. So check it out.
And then the last movie we watched, before we watched the double feature of Villainess art movie, we watched The Colors Within,
that was really well.
Oh, it was so good. So it came out early this year in January, which is actually in the running for Anime Awards, for the Crunchyroll Awards, which by the time you're hearing this is probably already over.
Yeah, probably.
But we didn't vote for it because we never watched it until now. Because we gave it to Look Back, which I still think Look Back deserves it. The Colors Within is about a girl who can see color, and I'm trying to in people.
Yeah,
so
what is that called again?
I'm trying to remember exactly because I wrote it down because there's actually a term for it that people use, and I found that very interesting because I was like, oh, that is so interesting. I didn't think that was a thing. Synesthesia? How do you spell that? Synesthesia?
Synesthesia?
Synesthesia, which is a mixing of the senses, is a perceptual phenomenon where stimulation of one sensory pathway triggers involuntary experiences in another. For example, a sound might evoke a color, or a shape might be tasted. Her having that ability is not it's not essential to the story, but it's very beautiful.
It is
what she sees.
Yeah, part of the story.
But the essence of the movie is that it's a bunch of teenagers, 3 of them, that are kind of going through some problems of their own. And what I really like about it's not too deep and it's not too depressing. It's just it's just them growing up. It's a coming of age story, and they all get together to form a band. And I just found that really interesting, you know. And then the one thing that surprised me the most is them using Christianity in this movie. It all takes place in a girls' school mostly, and 2 of the girls go to that school. It's a Christian all-girls school, and they meet a young man later at a bookstore, and they kind of just form the band together. And I found it very interesting that. One, I didn't think this was a thing. Oh, I knew it was a thing. I just didn't think it was that prominent in Japan.
Yeah, I do know there are places like that in Japan.
It's so fascinating.
Yeah.
It was very fascinating. And the one thing I really loved about it is not shoved down your throat.
Mm-hmm.
The Christianity stuff. It's a focal point of the story, but it just doesn't feel overused or demonized to the point that you see in other media. Where it's like, oh, it's blasphemy if you do this or that, or,
right.
It's like shoved down your throat. I don't really like that in other media, but this one did it so well where I was very fascinated with the story being a Christian.
I felt like this was like a healthy religious portrayal compared to other portrayals of this kind.
Very healthy.
Yeah.
I loved it. And just essentially being a Christian rock band, that they all form. Very interesting. And
right. Right.
If Look Back didn't come out last year as a voting nominee, and I would have gave this one.
This sooner.
And if I watched this sooner, I would have gave this one a lot of flowers. But if it came out any other year, I would have been like, "Oh yes, Colors Within." I wish. I hope this one gets a lot of flowers. But my vote's still Look Back.
Yeah, it's still my vote as well. But this one was really good.
Yeah.
I think the thing that brought this movie down for me a little bit was that they didn't really use her seeing or hearing
or synesthesia.
Synesthesia or whatever it's called. They didn't really use that more, and I would have loved to have seen them use that more in her inspirations for even writing her song.
I would have liked to see that too. Again, I think it's a very slow-paced anime, which is really nice, and it's a very simple story. I think by the end, it's very gratifying and emotional. I was tearing up when they were all singing together, and everyone was just very excited to hear their music.
Yeah.
Is it my favorite from her, the director? It's second. I really love Silent Voice. There's just something they did with Silent Voice that just really tugged at the heartstrings for me that I really appreciated. Not to say that one's worse than
I
the
have to
other.
say, I really appreciate how this one is a lot less dramatic than
Yeah.
a silent voice. I feel like she's really great at like covering all these different like.
And they got Science Saru to do this, which is amazing. The art style alone is amazing. It's way different than what they've done with Dan to Dan or Devilman Crybaby.
Oh, yeah.
But seeing them handle this movie was fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's really important for like not just people, but for even studios to show a range rather than just sticking with a particular thing.
I think it works.
Yeah.
So that's just a little bit of our recommendations.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to say about them? Or?
No, I think we should probably get in to our moms.
To our mom waifus. Our best moms.
That sounded weird.
Our best moms in anime. You ready?
So, what makes a good mom?
That is the question.
A good mom isn't perfect, okay? She makes mistakes. She learns from them. She doesn't solve your problems for you, but she offers advice to help you through. Okay?
That's a pretty good definition of what a best mom is.
Right. And most importantly, now this is probably the most important thing, she loves you no matter what.
Yes.
In this episode, we're celebrating moms. Come on.
All right.
Let's do this.
So we're gonna go through a couple of our favorite moms in anime.
Yeah. We have a list of 5, but we might only do 3 depending on how long we spend on each one.
All right. Well, you want to go first? I'll let you go first.
All right. Now my list is in no particular order. So what about yours?
Mine is in no particular order, but I'm gonna go with my best one of my favorite one. Actually, I think sorry, scratch that. I do have a favorite one out of all of them.
Oh, really?
And I would like to do that one first.
Oh, okay. So, well, if you want, you can go first.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. My favorite mom, hands down, that I have ever seen in media is Hana from Wolf Children. Whenever I think of best moms, she is the one that comes to mind for me immediately.
Oh, yeah. She's great.
So, the premise of Wolf Children, I'm not going to try to... I think we're going to get into spoiler territories a little bit with some of these characters that we're going to talk about.
Oh, yeah,
and I think Hana is going to be one of them. So if you haven't watched Wolf Children, please pause this podcast right now or
watch
this video.
The movie.
Go watch the movie.
Come back.
And then come back and then gush with us.
Yeah.
She is... I fell in love with her immediately through that entire story. So she... Essentially, Hana is our main protagonist here, who fell in love with a wolf man. I'm going to call him Wolf Daddy because he actually doesn't have a name in the movie at all.
No, I don't recall that either. So.
Yeah, so I'm going to call him Wolf Daddy.
Wolf Daddy.
And essentially, they have 2 children together. Though, however, luck isn't on her side as much, and her husband dies in a terrible accident. She's a single mom now, and she has 2 kids. But her 2 kids are also wolf children. No.
Oh yeah.
So they're half human, half wolf. So, they start having the wolf-like tendencies, and they live in the city.
Probably not the best place for wolves.
So she decides to move to like the countryside and start raising her kids there.
That probably would have been my choice to do as well.
Is to move in the countryside with 2 wolf
If
children.
I had 2 wolf children, I would absolutely find like a nice countryside home within my budget and to raise my children there.
And I think what she does here, she wants to provide a good life for her kids despite all the roadblocks and challenges of being a single mom. And I just love seeing her struggle, but also triumph in the end. It's getting me emotional just thinking about it. But you see her make so many mistakes. Like, remember, she starts to learn, and I'm just refreshing your memory, but she learns to grow food to sell to the town, in the countryside. And she has so much difficulty with that, this trial and error. Yeah. She keeps, failing to produce crops. And then she learns through, help from people around her, the community, while at the same time just dealing with her children growing up. And it's very emotional. I find her, she's my favorite mom. Just hands down.
Do you see a lot of your mom in her?
I do. And I think I really do. I really, really do. Just because I see that my mom had to take care of 6 kids after my dad passed away.
Which is
so it's just, this really does hit home for me because my mom went through all this herself.
Yeah.
With much more kids on hand that were not wolf-like, probably, but still,
probably the altogether equivalent to wolf children.
probably so, me included. But yeah, I see a lot in what Hana is as a mom with my mom, and I just find that this is the best. It's the most realistic parenting I've ever seen in media. Is Hana and what she does for all both her children, and I love seeing that both children are different. Like, again, I'm spoiling, but like you have the daughter, who doesn't want to be a wolf, but then you have the son who wants to be a wolf.
Yeah,
and
he doesn't want to be human.
He doesn't want to be human anymore. He wants to be more of a wolf. So it's just like her coming to terms with and accepting her children as they are.
Yeah,
and that's very. It's a very hard.
Let them go.
You gotta let them go. And do you have anything else you want to say about Hana?
I think you said. I think you did it very good.
She's my favorite, hands down. I know
down
I have others on this list, but I always think of Hana.
Yeah, I can appreciate
such a beautiful fucking movie. One that I still think about daily, and I'm already like tearing up a bit.
You are.
Just sorry, it's just like it's so emotional, and I just think of the story there, and what she goes through, and her giving up so many sacrifices, just to take sacrificing so much. She sacrifices so much for her children.
Yeah.
In the end, and that's just something that I see a lot in my mom.
Yeah.
And probably many other moms too. So just Hana is
sort
best
of what
mom.
It is to be a parent, sacrificing for your children.
Exactly.
So yeah,
she's best mom, hands down. You can't change my opinion, but go on to yours. But if you guys want to check out Wolf Children.
Check out Wolf Children.
That's Hana from Wolf Children.
Amazing movie.
Yeah.
Alright, so mine I don't know if I have a favorite mom in my list or not. But the first one I'm talking about is Sachiko Fujinuma from Erased.
Ooh, okay.
Satoru's mother. She's a news anchor / former news anchor with a sharp eye. She's a single mom who cares for her son and is devoted to his well-being. And remember what I said about her having a sharp eye?
She's very cunning.
Well, that essentially causes the events of the series, if you will.
If you want to go into spoilers, you can.
We're totally going into spoilers. If you have not seen Erased, you can pause now, watch it.
It's 12 episodes.
Come back and gush with us. So, why is her sharp eye the cause of the events for the series? Because, I will say, she is aware of those now cold case status of serial kidnappings in town. And some that are not cold cases, meaning they're still going on, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But she happens to make eye contact with said kidnapper, which leads to them actually going after her and killing her, which activates Satoru's power of revival in order to save his mother. So, that's not like the reason why she's the best mom, okay?
No. There's many things I love about her too that you see even in the past and the future. The
past especially, which I think solidifies her as like one of the best moms in anime, okay? Throughout the show, you see how hard she works to support her son. She is careful and observant, and I think that really helps her to like understand what her son is trying to do in the show. She may not fully understand why he's doing the things he's doing back in the past. She's not aware this is the present for her at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But like she's like quick to help him when she realizes that like he sort of has a lot on his plate. But anyway, it helps her to understand other people, and being a mother, she is bound to pry into his personal life, which I think really sort of shows how much she cares for Satoru. Mm-hmm. Plus, like, I don't know if I should like really get into that spoilers territory, but you see how much she gives up for her son in that show.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just what good mothers do, I think. I also have a fun fact here.
Fun fact, go.
Her name, Sachiko, means, Sa, to help. Chi, wisdom. Ko means child. Fuji, part of her last name, Fujinuma. Fuji means wisteria, and Numa means swamp. But wisteria is a flower and with the meaning of love and success.
Wow.
So I thought that was like a fun little fact.
I like that. Anything else you want to say about it?
Yeah. You can go on to your next one.
Okay, I'm sure you have this one, so we may blend into this. But I had to mention Kyoko Honda.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have that?
Yeah, I wrote a lot about her.
So Kyoko Honda, she's from Fruits Basket. She is already dead by the time the show begins. So, but her impact on the show is so immense that her memories reverberate throughout all that all that knew her. I love, despite her being a delinquent growing up, that she became this loving and doting mother who raised Toru, our main character, wonderfully. And she taught her to be fair, to be kind, to believe in people. She is the reason Toru was the person she is at the start of Fruits Basket. And there's other characters that bleed into that like made a huge impact because of her. You do get to see a little bit of her sprinkled throughout the show, and like the lessons that Toru has learned over the years, and she always goes back to her memories of her mom on lessons that she's dealing with, or situations that she's dealing with right now, in her life.
Yes.
And you can just see how much of an impact she had on Toru, to the point where she's using all the advice that she gave her in the past in the past to kind of just help her forward.
Yes.
And that's something that's really stuck with me as a really caring mom. And she even helps out other characters in this show that I don't want to spoil too much, but she helps out other people that really did affect their life too, because of her reaching out to them and giving them advice and whatnot. And it's nice to see, especially in the movie, she has a lot of struggle. You get to see her life growing up. You get to see her falling in love. You get to see her raising Toru. Kyoko Honda
from Fruits Basket, the late mother of Toru. She's shown to us through a series of flashbacks where we learn that she was a delinquent teenager who fell in love and worked hard to become the woman Toru could remember her being.
Mm-hmm.
When Kyoko's... Now, this is that spoiler territory.
Then let's put some spoilers in. Okay, again, Fruits Basket, if you haven't seen it.
When Kyoko's husband died, she briefly abandoned Toru when she was very young and attempted to end her own life before realizing that Toru would need her. That's when I think Kyoko started to blossom into the amazing person she became. Kyoko swore to live for Toru, giving her love and care, becoming a gentle, sweet, and loving mother. She would share her wisdom with others and never forgot how to talk with children, which helped her understand and empathize with them all. Kyoko Honda was a wonderful mother who touched the lives of many in the series. Fun fact! Kyoko! Kyo means capital city or respect.
Mm-hmm.
Ko means child. There's a lot of Ko's in women's names, which means child, and I think that's probably symbolism that they are like the mother of children.
The mother of children.
Honda means either rice paddy or origin/many. So she really helped with the origin of many of these characters, I feel.
She did. I think she's helped with a lot of people in this show. So
Indeed.
I love her as a mom.
She's a great mom.
I have Sanai Furukawa.
I knew you would choose her, so I did not.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you doing that.
I was trying to be respectful.
Well, Sanai Furukawa is from Clannad and Clannad After Story. She is a gentle and loving mother of Clannad's lead female, Nagisa Furukawa. She and her husband, Akio, are a mainstay throughout the whole show, offering their support to their daughter and her friends whenever they need it. Sanai is admired by those around her for her sweet disposition and her beautiful appearance. I mean, she's often in the show quoted as like Nagisa's sister, like older sister, which I thought that was really good. What truly makes her a wonderful mother is her compassion and willingness to help others. She and Akio have opened up their home to many kids in need, offering them safety and warmth when they need it most. Specifically, Tomoya is the main guy.
Yeah.
She goes through great lengths to ensure her loved ones are cared for, often putting her own desires aside for their sake. And as a result, she is a beloved anime mom that I think many people still adore to this day. Specifically, getting into spoiler territory. She really helps out Nagisa when she's pregnant. She looks after her even after her death. Spoiler alert, that's the big spoilers. Nagisa dies. Tomoya was immensely depressed, and at this time she took care of Ushio, which was their daughter.
Because he was being a terrible father.
Yes, but even after spending several years with Ushio, she knew that it was important for Ushio to return to her father. As Tomoya had been all alone after the death of his wife, she showed she showed a lot of courage when almost everyone around her was feeling sad. So I just feel like she's an amazing mom that you see throughout the entire show. Take care of not just Nagisa, but
I wanted to put her on my list in all honesty.
Well, do you have anything you want to say about her?
No, yeah, I think you covered it pretty well. She's amazeballs.
She's amazeballs. And she's cute, but she's still a terrible baker.
Yes, but you know, that's not one of the qualities you need to be a good mom.
No. She's just a great mom, cooking aside.
Yes.
Terrible cooking aside. That's my pick, Clinad.
Alright.
From Clinad is Sanai. So, okay, your turn.
Alright. Next one, which is not as good as my last one. But still pretty good. Okay? Junko Kaname from Kuala Meiji Madoka Magica.
Oh wow, you went deep
Yeah.
on this one. I like this one.
A caring mother of two, most notably Madoka. Junko is a hard worker, enjoyer of alcoholic drinks, who sometimes says terrible things about who says terrible things, including people she doesn't like. But in those moments when she and Madoka are getting ready in the mornings, her love for her children really shines. Though she can't help or shield her children from life, she does give Madoka advice and tries to equip her as best as she can to face the challenges head on. She also gives out dating tips, which I think is an adorable, motherly thing to do. She also worries when Madoka no longer shares much about what's going on in her life, which is totally a normal mother thing to do. Before I go into the fun facts, is there anything you want to add?
There's one quote that I really get stuck with when Junko talks to Madoka.
Yeah.
Like, one night, while having drinks with her is, and I have it. I wrote it down because I figured you might gonna mention this. Before you grow up, you should learn how to make the right kind of mistakes. You are still young, so it's easy to bounce back after getting hurt. See, the older you get, the bigger the consequences are if you mess up.
Yeah, see, that's like the great advice that I was talking about.
I know, I really love that. And that's just one that sticks with me. This is one show that you showed me.
It took 2 tries, but you finally watched it.
Well, it took until the reveal, and then now, watching it like the second time, I was like, "Oh shit, this is fire." That's all I had to say about her.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right, fun fact: Junko. Jun means to inquire / consult. Ko, I'm sure you know by now.
Mother.
Child.
She's the mother of childs.
Kaname. Kana means dear, and me means eye.
Dear
so I feel like it means carefully watching.
Yeah.
You know?
She's carefully watching Madoka.
Yeah.
As she grows up to become the woman that she is. So, good choice.
Thank you.
Good choice.
I have 2 more mothers after this, but
I have 2 left too.
Oh.
But I don't have. I mean, I have a lot to say on either or. So I'm gonna mention one that is very obscure.
I have an
Unless you
obscure one too.
Well, I'm interested to see what that one is. I'm gonna mention Clara Magnolia. She is from Violet Evergarden.
Oh, okay, that's more obscure than mine, I think.
Now, the premise of Violet Evergarden is that it's more like there's stories within.
I think we might have been talking about this particular one the other night, correct?
Yes, that was when I mentioned that. I often think about this one. Violet Evergarden is such a fantastic show, beautiful, emotional. It's the characters around Violet, which is our main character, that really shine and really show the emotions that give Violet more understanding of the world, her emotions, people's emotions, and I feel like Clara is no exception to that. Is that right to say?
Yeah.
So brief is that after so Clara has an illness and she isn't getting better. She hires Violet to write a set of letters for her daughters. Was her? No, it was her daughter.
Her daughter.
Sorry, I wrote daughters for some reason. Her daughter Anne, and at this point Anne's very young and she doesn't understand what is happening to her mother and why she suddenly doesn't want to spend time with her. In a typical childlike manner, pouts and causes mischief in the process of doing that. However, after spending time with Violet, in this again, this is all like a 2-episode arc thing. That's like very beautiful. Very by the end of the again, I'm getting into spoilers because this is like a huge spoiler
this whole episode spoilers.
Yeah. So she essentially hired Violet, who Violet is a writer.
Yeah.
She writes letters to people in the show. So she hires her to write a letter to be delivered to Anne on her birthday for the next 50 years. So 50 letters.
Oh.
We see Anne grow up, marry, have her own family. Even though Clara is gone, she is still... Oh my god, I'm just crying. I'm like tearing up. She is always thinking of her daughter and supporting her every step of the way through her whole life.
Yeah.
I just think that's such a beautiful message that even though she couldn't be there for her, she's still there in spirit with these letters that she poured so much love into. Before she died, she spent all this time not being with her daughter so she could be there with her, for her daughter in the future. Is such a... It's emotional, it's tragic, but it's very beautiful because you see... God, I am tearing up. You just see this, you just see a montage of, as the years go by, of her growing up, having a family, having kids of her own, reading these letters every year, having the emotions of like, oh, I miss my mom, but, she's giving me some advice growing up, and it's very... You're tearing up too. Are you okay?
Yeah.
It's a very obscure one, but it's something that really stuck with me with Violet Evergarden and made me want to buy all the DVDs and the movies and such afterward, and we have them available now. It's so good, and you need a tissue. Sorry, I didn't mean to get waterworks going for you, but it's just something about that. It's just, she was so caring even in the afterlife.
Yeah.
Being there for her, and it's very emotional. And do you have anything you want to say about it? Because I know we watched it together. And...
No, I mean, all I could say is that if I was in that situation as the daughter, I would definitely cherish those letters very much.
Oh, and she does. You see, she collects them all and keeps them, and it's really good. So, I have one more, but I'm gonna let you throw in whatever one you got next, because we're about to do all 5 each. That's crazy.
I got Yasuko Takasu from Toradora.
Oh, I didn't think you were gonna do this one.
As Mirano. She is Ryuji's mother.
Mm-hmm.
Though we usually see her sleeping or half asleep, and her behavior is childish, she is surprisingly insightful about people. She's laid back and a bit of an airhead, but she knows her own mistakes that she has made in her life, And because of this, she cares deeply for her son and works hard for him to focus on his education so he can live a better life than she has. She insists that he should not get a job until after college, wanting to pay for that for him, which not many parents can or will do for their children in this day and age. So I like seeing, like, her, because she's still, like, the childishness plays, like, a heavy role in that a little later on, when she takes on a second job to be paying for his schooling. Spoiler alert, people. And she falls ill and can't work at both jobs, and she thinks her son Ryuji's disappointed in her. And so what does she do? She leaves him a watch that belongs to his grandfather, whom he's never met because she ran away from home to marry this guy who was his father. So telling him that he could, like, either sell the watch for some money or go and find his grandpa and he'll help take care of him. Because I think she snapped at that moment. But she swore she would never go back home and see her parents, right? Well, the little plot happens.
A little bit of plot.
A little bit of plot.
Yeah, doesn't the son take care of the second job? Like, he actually
Yeah,
starts working.
he works there for her.
Yeah, and then that's what she gets so upset. That's what snaps. Like, she's like, oh, you're not supposed... I told you don't get to work.
Yeah.
At all.
Exactly.
And...
See, so anyway, I feel like here's a bit of a character growth moment for her. Because, like, they sort of lie to her to get her to come and see Ryuji at her parents' house.
Yep.
Who she said she would never see again. But she goes there in a heartbeat to check on her son. And in that process, she gets to make up with her parents.
Yep. It's beautiful.
And, gets to have some resolve with her own parents in that way. So, I don't know, I feel like she's a pretty good mom.
No, she is a great mom.
Deserves to be mentioned.
She works so hard for the life that she lives with her son.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't mention it, but she is like a host of some sort at nights and stuff.
She is.
She's like, so she works nights, and then she sleeps
nights.
during the day, and
Yeah.
and he takes care of her during the day with food and such, and because he's a good cook.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see a lot of that.
See he's a bit more of a parent than she is.
Yeah, and
like being able to take care of her in that way and whatnot. But she cares for him so much that she doesn't want him to worry about working and just focus on, like, making a good life for himself.
Yeah, a good education and have a better life than she could ever.
Because she ran away from hers.
Yeah, so she can't do that. So she wants him to have a better life, and I understand that, and he helps so much for her sake too, even though she wants to take on the whole burden, but he wants to be there to take that burden together, and they're family at the end of the day.
So I feel like she raised a pretty good kid.
Yeah, she did. Even though he looks like Yakuza.
Well, that's not his fault, is it?
That's a good pick. I really like that pick.
Fun fact!
Yep, fun fact.
Yasuko. Ya means peace/calm. Su means quietness, tranquility. And Ko?
Mother of children.
Child. It means child. Takasu means hawk's nest.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. Maybe because she's hatching her eggs. Trying to raise.
Like the nest of her children. I don't know.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I like that you have these little fun facts on the names.
Thank
That's
you.
really cute.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I didn't do that due diligence, so.
Okay. I still have one from my last one. Okay.
You still have one more?
Yeah.
Okay. I have one more, but I didn't write anything down.
Alright, do tell.
Ai Hashino.
I knew you were going to pick her, so I didn't.
Well, do you have things to say about her? So,
no.
Obviously, Ai Hashino is from Oshinoko. She is an idol. I am getting into huge spoiler territories here, so you guys haven't watched
it, at least watch the first episode.
Fucking watch the first episode. It's like a fucking movie. It's amazing. It's like an hour and a half, but it's a fucking amazing. Ai Hashino, which is probably the most we get from her, is that first episode. You get to see, her being an idol and what it's like being an idol and the responsibilities and the fakeness that you put on to be an idol and and the lies you tell yourself
Mhm.
to love is something that she's never loved anybody. Her parents abandoned her at such a young age. She was basically an orphan, but she grew up and got scouted out to be an idol from this management team and stuff, and so she became very popular within an idol group and slowly becoming more and more famous. But obviously, she has kids, which is the big thing at the beginning of Oshinoko, is that she's pregnant. We do not know who the father is at all, which is important to the story. But you get to really see her be a mom and learn what it is to love for the first time. And her realizing that I have never loved anyone other than my children now. Like, I can actually
she
tell...
finally got to understand what that was.
Yeah, and she really cares for them, even though she has to keep it a secret. You know, like, oh, I can't tell the world that these are my children. She learns to care, and you can see how much she cares for her children, and what it is to love. I just find that very emotional, and it shows good signs of a mom. And it would have been nice to see how far she would have been as a mom. Spoiler alert, she dies in the fucking show, and that's what causes this entire show to start, is her death.
Yeah.
But I just love seeing her process on learning to love, and she did that through having children, and what she was willing to do for her children is to protect them, and she dies in the end by protecting her children.
Yeah.
And I think that's great mom material right there. So,
Yeah.
it's protecting your children. Do you have anything you want to say about Ai?
No, I think you did a
You
beautiful
think you
job.
did a good job? Okay,
Yeah.
then that's my pick. I don't want to go into too much with Oshinoko, even though it is spoiling some stuff. But I did already spoil that she dies. But there's a lot more to the show. It's amazing. I just wanted to mention that one. I didn't really write anything down, so those are my general thoughts on the matter.
You did really good for not writing anything down.
Okay, your final pick.
My final pick. Your Forger from Spy Family.
Wow.
Yeah. They're not Anya's real mother. She is like her adoptive mother of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
She's lethal, not only because she's an assassin, but because of her cooking. She is also sweet, kind, caring, and loving. She's protective, and it's obvious that she loves Anya. She is not the brightest, but having raised her younger brother... at
an early age, too. I mean, she was young, too, when she...
Right. Unfortunately, raising her younger brother did nothing to add to her domestic skills. But she has the energy most mothers wish they would have. She will protect Anya with her life, and will never give up trying to be a good mother and a good wife. So that's pretty much all I was really going to say about her.
No, I love Yor.
Yeah.
I think she's a great...
There's so much more to it than just her being a mom. But
Yeah. I mean, she's determined to do
determined.
stuff, and she's very lethal. Yes.
Yes.
Obviously, you said it. She's an assassin in
Yeah.
secret, but I like her trying so much to be there for Anya.
She even takes cooking classes to try to learn how to cook something edible. So
Yeah.
that's
And-
her trying.
And half of it's just, because she doesn't want to ruin this fake marriage.
She doesn't want to
relationship.
get caught or
Yeah.
whatever, but she also loves this thing that she has and doesn't want to lose it.
And that's something I really appreciate with Spy Family, is that you see this family kind of grow closer to each other, even though it's just a mission.
Right?
And it's like,
I will say,
you see that with Anya, you see that with Lloyd, you see that with Yor, where it's like, oh, well, specifically Lloyd, where you see Lloyd just like, oh, I'm here just for the mission, but then he's learning what it is to be with family, be a father. Same thing with Yor,
Yeah.
And
I do hope that Yor and Lloyd could maybe start having a little bit of a romantic relationship in the future. It doesn't have to happen right away, but hopefully by the end, so to try to keep the family together when the mission's over.
Yeah. I like seeing a little bit of the romance there. You see it. It's
Yeah.
there. And then there's like, they have dates sometimes. There's like awkward situation where they have to kiss in front of somebody, but
I don't think that involves any romantic feelings, though.
no, not like I want. And I totally understand what you're saying. It's like you want this to actually blossom from their relationship together, and not just for it being like, oh, this is a mandatory thing.
Yeah.
But like them literally getting to know one another.
Right.
And realizing
and like keeping their little family.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see more of that. I mean,
So.
we got season 3 coming in October,
Right.
so I'm excited for that. So,
Yeah.
Good choice. I like that one. I didn't think you were gonna do. There were some on that list I did not. What was your obscure one? Was that Monica?
No, it was actually Yasuko.
Really?
Because I didn't think anybody would really think about her.
I think about her. I think she's a great character in
yeah?
Toradora.
Oh, that's awesome.
Toradora is amazing. Can you believe that is 2008?
I know,
Toradora
yeah.
is so old.
Yeah,
But like, we just rewatched that last year,
we did.
and that was so fucking good.
I have fun facts.
Yes. Tell me your fun facts on your forger.
Your means violet flower. Forger, a bit obvious, means person who falsifies / deceives, but it can also mean maker / the smith.
Interesting.
So I feel like it really plays in well with like
Forging this family, and
yeah.
rather than it also being fake
I love
family.
but even if it's not on purpose, I love the thought that went into naming the characters.
Yeah, it's. I love the. Specifically in Spy Family, I love that it like takes place in this like fictional European.
Yeah, it feels very much like Germany,
Yeah,
and
Germany.
like with the Berlin Wall and all that kind of stuff.
Really like it. That's a really good pick. So, that's
Thank you.
is that a podcast?
I think that's a podcast.
Yeah, those are
Those are
10 moms. 9 actually. Sorry. She's giving me the glare eye. 9 moms. Do we want to talk about what we're going to talk about next episode?
I think you guys might have pieced it together already. We're talking about anime dads.
That
I
is.
already damn near have my whole list.
Oh, I will be getting my list ready as soon as possible. If you guys enjoyed this, let us know down below what your favorite moms is in anime.
R
in anime. And if you like and subscribe to the We Be Simpin' podcast.
Especially if you be simping.
Yeah. I be simping for Hana from Wolf Children. Who's your simp?
Listen. Probably Kyoko Honda.
Okay, well then. Until then, I'm Connor.
I'm Taylor.
And we be simping.
Ja, mata.
Jamata.